Hey everyone! Today we're exploring another chilling and disturbing case. If you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay engaged. It really means a lot. I truly appreciate it. Now, take a deep breath and let's dive in. When police pulled the suitcase from the river, they expected to find drugs, maybe weapons. But what they found instead would haunt the town of Briarfield for years. Inside was a bloodstained note, a woman's tooth, and the shattered remains of a life that had unraveled in complete silence. This is the twisted case of Sarah Adams, the devoted wife, the trusting sister, the perfect daughter-in-law, until the lies started leaking out one tooth at a time. Sarah Adams was last seen on a rainy Thursday night, her 10th wedding anniversary. She had dinner with her husband, Ben, at a quiet Italian restaurant. The CCTV shows them smiling, laughing. She even kissed him on the cheek as they walked to the car. She was never seen again. Ben reported her missing 2 days later. He claimed she had left a note saying she needed space. But no one ever saw that note. And her phone? Last pinged from a bridge 40 minutes from town. Then silence. Ben Adams was everything small-town America loved. A father of 2, church deacon, volunteer firefighter. He cried on live television, held prayer vigils, told reporters, "Sarah was my everything." But the cops noticed something off. Ben refused to let them search the bedroom. And when they finally got a warrant, they found something strange. An empty gun safe, and a freshly cleaned carpet that still smelled of bleach. Still, with no body, they had no case. That is, until the fishermen called. A local fisherman hooked a suitcase floating near the bend of Clearwater River. It was sealed with duct tape. Heavy, inside were women's clothes, cut up, burned at the edges. A single molar, cracked at the root, and a piece of paper, soaked but still legible. In red ink, the words, "Ask your brother what he did on our anniversary." The suitcase was traced to a local discount store, purchased a week before Sarah disappeared, paid for in cash, by someone wearing a hoodie and sunglasses. Security footage caught a glimpse of the license plate. It was Ben's car. Once police dug deeper, the truth started to rot through the surface. Ben was cheating. Not once, not twice, for different women. But the most disturbing? One of them was Sarah's younger sister, Emily. She claimed Ben had seduced her, that it was just physical. But texts recovered from a burner phone showed something else. "If she finds out, I'll lose everything. Maybe it's better if she doesn't get the chance. Our life starts when hers ends." The burner phone was found buried in the backyard, wrapped in a child's raincoat. Ben had been careful, but Sarah had been smarter. Sarah had suspected the affair. She started journaling everything, dates, fights, receipts. She even hid a USB drive inside a hollowed-out book. On it, screenshots of Ben's texts, recordings of him threatening her, a video secretly filmed where he screams, "You make me want to strangle you, Sarah." Sometimes I think about it. She gave a copy to her best friend with a note. If I disappear, it wasn't an accident. But there was something she didn't know. Ben had taken out a $750,000 life insurance policy on her, just 3 months before. Beneficiary? Emily. When the evidence went public, it rocked Briarfield. The affair, the insurance scam, the religious hypocrisy, the cold, methodical way Sarah's life was erased and packed into a suitcase. Ben was arrested for first-degree murder. Emily was charged as an accessory and for insurance fraud. But Ben's defense? He didn't do it. He blamed someone else. His closing words in court? "You think I did it? Ask her parents. Ask her if you can find her body." Because to this day, Sarah's remains were never found. Only that tooth. Only that note. Sometimes the most horrifying stories don't end with answers. Sometimes a villain wears a wedding ring and sits next to you in church. This was the Sarah Adams case. A woman who predicted her own death and still couldn't escape it. But the question remains, was Ben the only one involved? Or did someone else help make Sarah disappear? Because suitcases float, but secrets? They sink. If anything happens to me tonight, tell the kids I tried. That was Sarah Adams' final voicemail, left at 11:42 p.m. 6 hours before Ben said she stormed off. We uncovered the cheating, the lies, the suitcase. Now, we will expose what didn't make it to trial, the missing hard drive, the secret camera Sarah installed, and a phone call from prison that flipped the case upside down. 2 months after the verdict, a cleaning crew was hired to prepare the Adams home for sale. In the attic, behind a wall panel, they found something no one expected. A baby monitor camera, still plugged into a backup battery, still recording. Detectives rushed to the forensics. Inside the micro SD card were over 36 hours of footage from the bedroom, and what it showed could have changed everything. Sarah whispering loudly, "You think I don't know? You ensured my death." Ben, "Then leave. You don't want this life. Go. Just sign the papers and get out of my house." Sarah, "It's our house, Ben, and I'm not dying for you to keep it." Suddenly, a slap, then silence. But the most disturbing part was what came next. Ben walks out, and Emily walks in. She hugs Sarah, kisses her forehead, and whispers, "Don't make him angry again." The policy Ben took out had Sarah's forged signature. He had forged documents before, but this one was submitted with Emily's notary stamp. Emily had notarized a fake document that ensured her own sister's death for $750,000. But here's the twist. That wasn't the only policy. A second policy, filed under a different name, listed a third party as beneficiary. That person, Ben's ex-girlfriend from college, who still lived in town, and claimed Ben had called her 6 days before Sarah went missing. She had a voicemail too. "If anything happens, I want you to know the life we planned, it's still possible." After Ben's conviction, he was transferred to a state facility, but during a monitored call, he let something slip. Talking to his cousin, he said, "They got the wrong one behind bars. I didn't pack the damn suitcase." His cousin responds, "Then who did?" Ben smiles. "Let's just say, I was never good at folding clothes anyway." Detectives reopened the suitcase timeline. Security footage from a gas station near Clearwater River was reanalyzed using enhanced AI filters. And there she was, Emily, wearing a hoodie, driving Ben's car. Time-stamped 3:14 a.m., the exact time the suitcase was dumped. Faced with the footage and fraud charges, Emily was rearrested, but her response? Silence. She didn't speak for 7 months, until a prison therapist convinced her to write it down. What she wrote was a confession, but not to murder. She claimed Ben had drugged Sarah with sleeping pills the night of their anniversary. She woke up dizzy, confused, and Ben said, "Go back to sleep. You'll feel better in the morning." Emily swore she found Sarah already dead on the bedroom floor at 4 a.m., and that Ben told her, "We clean this up or we both go down." So she packed the suitcase, with him watching. Despite all this, Sarah's body has never been recovered. No bones, no tissue, nothing. But after the confession, a new search was launched, using sonar, heat imaging, and canine cadaver teams. A lead diver reported something unusual. The suitcase was a decoy. We believe the real burial site is deeper. They found an anchor, rope, and a second suitcase handle. But the rest? Still trapped in the river's dark currents. Sarah knew something was wrong. She documented it, whispered her fears into phones and cameras. But in the end, even her voice wasn't enough. Ben may rot in prison. Emily may never see freedom again. But Sarah's body has yet to be laid to rest. And the question remains, was this all just about love gone wrong? Or was Sarah Adams worth more dead than alive? Rain pours over an old rural cemetery. A small, overgrown grave marker reads, "Infant, no name." Static buzzes. A man's voice, distorted, speaks over a phone recording. "You think Sarah was a first? You haven't even looked at the land behind the chapel." Just when we thought the Sarah Adams case had been laid to rest, a new voice emerged. An anonymous call to a private investigator. A whisper of a pattern, a buried truth, and another death. 3 weeks after Emily's second arrest, a judge ordered the unsealing of Sarah's grandmother's will. Sarah had inherited a 5-acre parcel of forested land behind Briarfield Chapel. Land long thought to be worthless. But new zoning laws had reclassified the area. Developers were offering nearly $2.4 million for it. Here's the twist. Sarah never knew she was the sole heir. But guess who did? Ben. And Emily. Emails found on a wiped laptop, recently recovered from the couple's shed, showed back-and-forth messages between Ben and a local real estate agent. She's not interested in selling, but she won't be around forever. Following the tip, the land behind Briarfield Chapel was surveyed using thermal drones. What they found sent chills down even the seasoned team spines. There were irregular heat pockets under the soil, indicating disturbed earth, and possible decomposition sites. The sheriff's office ordered a dig. At Site 3, they unearthed a plastic storage container. Inside, baby clothes, a rusted pacifier, and a birth certificate with the name scratched off. But most horrifying, a set of infant bones, wrapped in the same pattern bedsheet Sarah used for her children. It wasn't Sarah's baby, but it was registered to the Adams family name. Ben and Sarah had once shared the grief of a stillborn child, or so they claimed. The child was said to have died hours after birth. No funeral, no hospital records, just a whispered explanation. We laid him to rest ourselves. But DNA from the bones revealed the unthinkable. The child wasn't Ben's, and he didn't die at birth. A neighbor's diary, dated 2013, read, "Heard screaming from their shed again last night. I pray that baby is okay." That same night, Sarah was admitted for extreme bleeding. No police report was filed. So, who was the child's father? And why bury him in a forest? Ben Adams wasn't just manipulative. He was dangerously controlling. In notes recovered from Sarah's therapist, she wrote, "He makes me say things I don't believe. He tells me I need permission to leave the house. I'm starting to feel like a ghost in my own skin." She confessed to being forced to cut off friendships, delete contacts, and record apologies for things she didn't do. One of those apology recordings was found on Ben's old computer. "I'm sorry for disrespecting you, Ben. I promise I won't speak unless you ask me to." Her therapist warned her to leave, but Ben intercepted the emails. He sent a reply from Sarah's account. "Thanks for everything, but I no longer need your services." She called herself Anna, and she claimed to be Ben's ex before Sarah. She said he once choked her unconscious after she laughed at something he said. When she tried to report him, he told her, "No one believes women like you, and even if they do, they won't care." Her case was dismissed due to lack of evidence. But now she came forward, offering proof. Voicemails, photos of bruises, and a journal entry from Ben's sister, describing him as twisted and obsessed with obedience. Anna's chilling conclusion? Sarah wasn't the first. She just got too smart. Investigators reanalyzed Sarah's final voicemail. New audio forensics revealed something previously missed. At the 9-second mark, a second voice, barely audible, male, saying, "Don't fight it," and a dragging sound, like something heavy being moved across tile. Her voice, previously assumed to be trembling, now sounds like she's being forced to speak, which means the voicemail wasn't farewell. It was a desperate call for help. Sarah Adams lived in silence, died in fear, and even in death, her truth was smothered by people she trusted. A sister who envied her, a husband who controlled her, a system that failed her. But now she speaks, through journals, footage, voicemails, and the land she was buried under. And still, no murder weapon has ever been found. No full confession. No body. Just a note, a tooth, and a truth that refuses to drown. But what if Sarah planned more than just a safety file? What if she set a trap and left one final message, hidden in plain sight? The sound of a VHS tape clicking into place. Static clears to reveal Sarah sitting in a chair, staring directly into the camera. Her voice is calm, but her eyes are full of fear. If you're watching this, it means I didn't make it. And if Ben's pretending to be innocent, he's lying. In the months leading up to her disappearance, Sarah Adams knew she was in danger. She documented the abuse, She created backups. She whispered the truth where she could. We reveal what she left behind. A flash drive mailed to someone no one expected. A video confession hidden in a children's DVD case. And a map leading to the final missing piece of the puzzle. This wasn't just a murder. It was a setup she saw coming. And she left breadcrumbs behind. For days after Emily's second arrest, Rachel Dawson, Sarah's old college roommate, received a plain envelope in the mail. No return address, just her name. Inside was a flash drive, a child's drawing, and a note that read, "If I ever go missing, show them this." Rachel had lost touch with Sarah years ago, but Sarah remembered something critical. Rachel's uncle was a retired FBI analyst. They ran the flash drive, and what was on it? 6 months of evidence, secret recordings, location pings, copies of the life insurance paperwork, a document titled, "In Case I'm Gone." The most damning file on the drive? A video Sarah recorded 11 days before she vanished. I found the second policy. He forged my signature. He laughed when I asked why. I'm scared to sleep. He watches me like a stranger. I caught Emily with my favorite necklace in her purse. She said it was an accident, but nothing's accidental anymore. She goes silent for a moment. Then, he thinks I don't know what he's planning. But I do. And if he kills me, I swear I'll make sure he never gets away with it. That same night, she sent the flash drive, overnight delivery. She was murdered 5 days later. One of the files on the flash drive was simply named. For Lily, X marks the spot. It was a drawing, childlike, but not drawn by a child. Forensic handwriting confirmed Sarah drew it herself, mimicking her daughter's style. The X matched the spot behind the family swing set. Detectives dug 2 feet down. They found a metal lunchbox. Inside, a burned piece of a bra strap, a broken SIM card, and a Ziploc bag with Sarah's wedding ring, snapped in half. Why hide this? Because weeks earlier, Ben had told investigators. She left the house wearing her wedding ring. That's how I know she wasn't planning to leave me. But now that lie was shattered, along with the ring. With FBI help, Sarah's flash drive was decrypted further. It revealed login details to a cloud account registered under a fake name, Quiet Sparrow 04. Inside, GPS logs, audio files, a folder labeled Ben's Threats. In one audio clip, he says, "You know what I hate about you, Sarah? You keep acting like you're innocent, but you've been lying to me too. If you ever try to take those kids from me, I'll bury you where no one will find you. Don't test me." This account had automatic uploads, meaning even if Ben deleted her devices, the evidence would live on. She planned it, every step. At Sarah's candlelight vigil, a stranger appeared, dressed in black, silent. He left halfway through. No one knew who he was, until Rachel saw the footage and gasped. It was Ben's brother, Aaron, a man who had been estranged from the family for over a decade after accusing Ben of violence in their childhood. Aaron had moved states, changed his name, but he came back for this. A journalist tracked him down, and Aaron said, "Sarah reached out to me a month before she died. She said she didn't trust anyone anymore, except me." He gave police one last voicemail from Sarah. "If something happens to me, don't let him raise my kids." 3 months after Ben's conviction, the insurance agent who filed Sarah's policy was found dead, an apparent overdose. But no note, no signs of drug use history. His name? Daniel Ross. Sarah had emailed him weeks before she died. "I never signed anything. If you push this through, you're helping him kill me." The email was never answered. Now Daniel's death is being reclassified as suspicious. And the coroner? The same one who certified Sarah's child as a stillborn 10 years prior. Sarah Adams was many things. A mother, a wife, a victim. But above all, she was a strategist. She left a trail, knowing they'd try to erase her. And now, piece by piece, she's taking them all down from beyond the grave. But still no body, no direct confession. And now, another death. So the question is no longer who killed Sarah. It's how many people knew she was going to die and did nothing? Surveillance footage of a man walking nervously into a courthouse. The timestamp reads 8:41 a.m. 1 week before he disappeared, flash across the screen. His name was Lucas Henry. He was supposed to testify in the Sarah Adams case. But just days before he could speak under oath, he vanished. He was the one who saw the forged signatures, the man who filed the internal report, the one who knew how deep the insurance scam went. In Part 5 of the Sarah Adams case, we follow the money trail. What began as one woman's tragic murder now unravels into a web of greed, forged policies, and a network of deaths that might not be accidental. Because Sarah wasn't the first to question the paperwork, and Lucas may have paid the price for listening. Lucas Henry worked for Pioneer Mutual, the company that approved Ben Adams' $750,000 life insurance claim. He was a compliance analyst, known for being meticulous, quiet, diligent, and deeply disturbed when he discovered that 4 separate claims, all tied to small towns, used the same notary stamp and the same forged signature style. Sarah's was one of them. Lucas flagged it internally. He was told to drop it. Instead, he went to a federal investigator, and then he disappeared. On August 2nd, Lucas sent an email to his friend in the Department of Insurance Oversight. The subject line read, "If anything happens to me, check claim #541S. That claim? A woman named Rebecca Lane, declared dead after a boating accident 2 years ago. Body never recovered. Her husband claimed $500,000 from the same company, with the same agent as Sarah, Daniel Ross. Yes, the same Daniel Ross who was found dead in a hotel room in Part 3. The one Sarah warned in writing, if you push this through, you're helping him kill me." So now we have 2 dead women, 2 forged policies, and 2 men who tried to speak, now silenced. Federal authorities searched Lucas's apartment. Taped beneath his desk was a list. 9 names. 6 women reported missing, drowned, or suicided. 3 of their spouses filed 6-figure life insurance claims. None of the women were found. All had connections to the same notary and agent chain. 4 of those claims were approved by Daniel Ross, and 2 had Ben Adams listed as a referring friend of the policyholder. That's right, Ben was connected to more than just Sarah's death. This wasn't just domestic violence. It was premeditated insurance murder. Sarah's case is horrifying, but it's not unique. Of the 9 women on Lucas's list, 3 were ruled suicides. 2 disappeared on hiking trips, 4 died in house fires, all blamed on faulty wiring. But in each case, a large insurance payout, no body found, and a fast-track claim process with missing signatures. Lucas believed they were murdered. He told a friend, "It's like someone taught them how to erase people legally." He was preparing a dossier to present in court. He never made it. Ben Adams had mostly remained silent in prison, until a fight broke out in the yard. Guards broke it up, but a mic picked up this line from Ben. "You think I'm the only one? They're still out there. We had a system, and Sarah ruined it." That single line triggered a reopening of multiple cases. Sarah's murder was no longer seen as isolated. It was a crack in a larger operation. And now, federal agents wanted to know who else was involved, and more terrifying, who was next. In Sarah's old box of belongings, stored by her parents, Rachel found something strange. Taped inside a stuffed animal was a heat-damaged USB drive. It had once belonged to Sarah. After recovery, it revealed a folder titled "The Pattern." Inside were printouts, voice memos, and screenshots showing she had discovered multiple suspicious claims, including the one for Rebecca Lane. In one voice memo, she says, "I think Ben's working with someone. These women are vanishing the same way. This is bigger than just me." Sarah didn't just suspect her own murder. She suspected organized fraud and serial killing. And she was right. Sarah Adams died trying to speak up. Lucas Henry died trying to expose the truth. And now, 9 other women remain lost in the silence. This wasn't just about one killer. It was about a system. A system where death became profitable and silence became currency. But their stories didn't end. when their lives did, because Sarah left a trail. Lucas picked it up, and now so have we, but the most chilling discovery is still to come. A breath, then the sound of a lock turning, heavy door creaks. Dim flashlight beams reveal a pale, trembling woman in a dusty basement corner. Her voice cracks. "My name is Rebecca Lane. They said I was dead. The suitcase in the river was only the beginning." Sarah Adams' murder cracked open a conspiracy soaked in blood, money, and silence. Acting on evidence uncovered in Lucas Henry's files, the FBI raided Gracewood Memorial Services, a small-town funeral home tied to 4 of the suspicious insurance claims. It was owned by Samuel Green, a former mortician with a revoked license. He'd been operating under a new name for 5 years. Inside, agents discovered 27 unfiled death certificates, 5 sealed cremation urns with no cremation records, and 1 hidden door behind a false panel in the basement. What they found behind that door would make national headlines. Rebecca Lane was declared dead in a boating accident 2 years prior. No body recovered. Husband collected $500,000. Case closed, but Rebecca never died. She was drugged, kidnapped, and held in the funeral home's basement, where she says she was told, "Everyone already thinks you're dead, so just be quiet, or we'll bury you for real." She had no daylight for 19 months, only food trays, and silence. She had no idea Sarah Adams existed, until agents showed her the flash drive Sarah mailed before her death. Rebecca wept. "She died for all of us. She gave me my name back." This was the operation. A man takes out a large life insurance policy on a woman, wife, girlfriend, or vulnerable partner. A corrupt notary and insurance agent fast-track the paperwork. The woman disappears in a staged accident or fire. Her death is certified by either forged documents or cooperative mortician. The claim is processed. Money is split between the killer and the network. Ben Adams was just one piece. Samuel Green provided the infrastructure. Daniel Ross, the agent, filed the claims. Sarah Adams uncovered all of it, and Lucas Henry tried to expose it. Both paid the price. In a packed courtroom, Rebecca Lane testified. "He told me no one would come looking, that I was replaceable, that women like me go missing every day and no one notices." Her testimony blew the case wide open. A federal grand jury indicted 8 individuals, including Samuel Green, kidnapping, fraud, conspiracy to commit murder, 2 insurance adjusters, 1 private investigator, and Ben's estranged cousin, who helped dispose of evidence. Sarah's name was mentioned 37 times during the trial. She wasn't just a victim. She was a catalyst. Sarah's 2 children now live with her parents. They've started therapy. They ask about their mom often. They remember her as warm, brave, always humming in the kitchen. But one day, her daughter asked something that silenced the room. If Mommy knew he was going to hurt her, why didn't someone stop him? A question no one could answer. Maybe no one will believe me. But if even one woman sees this and gets out in time, it was worth it because of Sarah's evidence. 2 states passed new laws requiring third-party verification of all high-value insurance claims. Pioneer Mutual was dismantled. A task force for domestic violence-linked insurance fraud was established. Sarah's family started a foundation in her name. Its mission? Protect the unheard, expose the unseen. They thought they buried me, but I left the truth floating, and someone found it. This was the story of Sarah Adams, a woman who knew too much, loved too hard, and fought too long. She died alone, but she didn't die in vain, because in the end, she exposed a system built on death, and saved a woman the world had already buried. What are your thoughts on this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with more stories, where each case isn't just about crime, but also offers a lesson for life.